breaking news from KXAN News.
New this afternoon, Williamson County Sheriff's Office is investigating a homicide. This is on Jennifer Circle in a neighborhood that is just outside of the Georgetown city limits.
Deputies tell us they responded to a 911 call earlier this morning where the caller said they killed their roommate. That suspect is now in custody. The names of both the suspect and the victim have not been shared just yet as police keep working their investigation. We'll, of course, keep following this story on air and online at our website, KXAN.com.
The measles outbreak is growing in West Texas, with the state confirming today there are now 146 cases. 2 more people are also in the hospital because of their infections.
This week, an unvaccinated child died from the measles after being hospitalized in Lubbock, the first death from the disease in a decade. Here in our area, there are no confirmed cases right now, but coming up this afternoon at 2:30, our local leaders from both Austin and Travis County will provide an update about prevention.
The virus is highly contagious. However, health officials say it is easily preventable by a vaccine. It spreads through the air by respiratory droplets from coughing or sneezing. Symptoms don't generally appear until more than a week after exposure. Children generally get their first shot at around a year old, and a second dose of the vaccine is recommended around 4 to 6 years old. That usually happens right before kindergarten. The CDC says 97% of people are fully protected following that second dose. If you got the shot as a kid, the CDC says most people are protected from the virus for life. It says there's no evidence that that protection is lost as we age.
The Mahia Independent School District east of Waco announced a measles case yesterday, but it is now clarifying that has instead been identified as a case of rubella. The district is closed today, though, while a deep clean happens at all the campuses and on its school buses. Meanwhile, in North Texas, an adult living in Rockwall County tested positive for the disease this month after traveling outside the country. The Texas Department of State Health Services says this patient is an unvaccinated adult who traveled to Asia. Health officials say they believe the individual was contagious while in transit. They also say they do not believe that person has visited any public places while contagious. Rockwall County health officials say they believe this case is an isolated incident. On our website right now, we have much more coverage of the ongoing measles outbreak. Plus, you can learn more about the Mennonite community in West Texas, where experts say a lot of those cases are now concentrated. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., sharp criticism came for the U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over his comments about this recent measles outbreak.
Washington correspondent Vinay Simlot explains the reaction so far.
Democrats are criticizing Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for his reaction to the measles outbreak in West Texas. It's killed 1 child.
It is incredibly frustrating and heartbreaking.
Democratic Representative Teresa Leger Fernandez represents a district seeing measles cases in New Mexico. She blames rhetoric around vaccines for the outbreak.
Misinformation about vaccines, it respects no boundaries.
Kennedy, a longtime vaccine critic, addressed the measles outbreak in a cabinet meeting on Wednesday.
It's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
How about saying that death is not common? Hasn't happened in a decade.
Measles cases have fluctuated over the last 10 years, with a notable spike in 2019 with nearly 1,300 cases. But this year, we're at 133, almost half of last year's total, 2 months into the year. CDC data shows about 90% of children are vaccinated against the measles.
We're watching it. We put out a post on it yesterday, and we're going to continue to follow it.
In a tweet, Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, a doctor, said the news of a death is absolutely devastating. He encouraged people to make sure children get the measles vaccine, adding it's safe and effective.
If you love somebody or care for somebody, encourage them to get the vaccine.
Health experts consider measles eliminated in the U.S., but say low vaccination rates undermine that effort. In Washington, I'm Vinay Simlot.
First warning weather.
Back here at home, we want to take a live look over downtown Austin, where we are tracking those temperatures in the 70s, Freddie tells us. And I know that comes as people are headed out for some sporting events. We've got people out at CODA, we've got people watching beach volleyball, and it seems like they're going to get some good temperatures to do so.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. We have our weekend watch segment. I'll talk about that a little later. But today, a very important day, and I want to show everyone because it kicks off today, actually tonight, and that's Ramadan. In case you're planning anything for the evening, just know that sunset is at 6:29 p.m. Temperatures today should be at about 76 degrees. We'll get a few clouds in there, but of course, it all starts with the crescent moon. So the first night of Ramadan. And in case you're wondering, as far as sunsets, mostly around the same time over the next couple of weeks. It's not till we get to about Sunday that we start to see that change, thanks to the clock springing forward by 1 hour. There's a look at current temperatures right now. 71 in Austin, 69 in Georgetown, 68 in Burnet, and the same out towards Fredericksburg. San Marcos at around 71, and the same out towards Giddings and LaGrange. Here's a live look out of our Ally Medical Emergency Room camera in Bastrop. We can see a few clouds that are up in the sky. In fact, as we look at our satellite and radar, that's the one spot where we're seeing clouds. Everywhere else is mostly pretty much sunny at this time. All right, the rest of the day today, we know we're going up into the mid-70s, but even as we get out towards the evening hours, about 6 p.m., we're looking at about 70 overall. By 8 p.m., 64, and by 10 p.m., 60, with mostly clear skies. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the warm and mostly sunny weekend, the great days ahead, but the rain chances are returning. I'll tell you when coming up.
Freddie, thank you. As the fight over school funding plays out at the state capitol, many districts are choosing to close schools, cut programs, and even having to get rid of teachers.
At Vandegrift High School, students walked out of class to protest Leander ISD cutting the International Baccalaureate program. The IB program is a nonprofit that offers advanced curriculum for high school students looking to advance their college careers. Currently, there are 267 high school students in that program. We asked Leander ISD what the cuts mean for students and teachers. The district told us it's phasing out the program, allowing high school juniors currently in it to complete it. Some students told us they transferred to Vandegrift just to be a part of this program.
Because I'm an IB transfer, I spent this long adjusting to this new waters and going to Vandegrift High School instead of being able to stay with my peers that I've known for over 10 years now.
The district is facing a $34 million deficit. It's also cutting 200 teaching positions. The assistant superintendent told us district leaders have to prioritize programs that are both financially sustainable and equally accessible to all students.
Going into some more depth here, after passing the Texas Senate, lawmakers are close to allowing your tax dollars to pay for private school tuition. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is making private school vouchers a priority this session. He says every child deserves the education that's best for them. However, the bill does face some opposition in the House, where it's previously failed to pass.
I'm very concerned that we're not doing what we need to do to address this school funding crisis across the state.
We do have some continuing coverage on the debate happening over education savings accounts and school choice measures. That's at KXAN.com.
Okay, you may have seen some spinning signs on the side of the road for advertising purposes, business. But coming up, we're going to tell you about the competitive sport behind it. All right, there are multiple ways to spin this next story. You have likely seen people on the side of the road spinning signs to try and get your attention for a business.
But for some, it's more than just being a human billboard. It's actually a competitive sport. And our photojournalist Todd Bailey met up with a team of spinners who are taking their skills to the World Championship in Vegas.
For some reason, it's what gets me in the zone. Something I get to feel like, I'm kind of flying, get to get out of the body and really move in a free way. So that's what does it for me.
I definitely see it more as an art form than a job. That's what's kept me spinning for so long. It's changed from how the roots used to be.
It's become much bigger tricks.
Kind of one of the people that like doing big aerials so I can get a lot of attention. Show them the helicopter in the wind, my favorite one.
Now I'm in the position where I'm providing that same opportunity. I want that opportunity to stay around for other people or whoever just finds that they're naturally good at it too. I mean, no one knows how to spin a sign right away.
I enjoy that people are able to kind of like pick up the energy that I put out there. At the end of the day, like I tell everyone, you get out what you put in into this job.
I have a lot to prove. During the summer, I took a lot of beating up from the signs, so, but it got me where I am today.
Amazing stuff there. The championship is Saturday, March 8th. Teams will be judged on technical ability, execution, and style. Winners get first grabs at certain gigs and a boost in pay for the year. Pretty cool stuff.
I wonder if I can spin my clicker around.
Don't do it.
I don't want to drop it and break it. All right, let's take a look at current temperatures right now. 71 degrees in Austin, 68 degrees in Fredericksburg, 69 in Mason, 71 in San Marcos, and 72 down towards Flatonia. We only have a little bit of cloud coverage, and that's down towards Bastrop and LaGrange and Giddings. Everywhere else is mostly seeing just nothing but sunny skies at this time. We'll zoom out a bit more for the rest of the state. The clear skies pretty much for the entire state of Texas. It's more from like San Antonio down to the south that we're seeing more cloud coverage, and then some rain out towards the Gulf. All right, I want to look ahead to the next couple of days. Not too much going on here. We'll see just a rotating amount of cloud coverage just flying right past us. As we get into Sunday, we get a bit more cloud coverage, and then we're mostly cloudy as we start to go throughout the afternoon into the evening hours, and then the possibility of a spot drizzle or two. And then leading into Monday, then we have a better chance of maybe seeing another chance of rain. As far as high temperatures are concerned, yeah, we're back to the 80s. 82 on Saturday, 78 on Sunday, 77 on Monday, then back up to 82 as we get out towards Tuesday. But now I want to move past Monday into Tuesday and into Wednesday because we have a better chance of seeing some showers out there, especially as we get into Tuesday. It'll start off pretty early and then last with us throughout most of the day. We have a line of showers and thunderstorms that are possible. Even as we get to about 10 a.m., you can see how that line of thunderstorms does start to build up towards the towards the eastern part of the state of Texas, past Dallas, getting into Oklahoma and out towards Arkansas as well. And then once we get out towards Tuesday afternoon, this model is saying that is pretty much done. But of course, this could be updated as we go throughout the weekend. Just know that Tuesday is going to be our best chance of seeing some showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms out there. As far as the severity, we're looking more out towards the eastern portions as you get out towards the north of I-10 through Louisiana and Mississippi compared to actually here within the state. But there's a probable chance. The fact that they're issuing this so far in advance means that we may see something build up there. Possible, and we're almost at the edge of that, which is why I don't foresee very much happening here. But things can be updated as we go throughout the next couple of days. Ramadan starts tonight, 82 degrees for tomorrow, 78 for Sunday. By Monday, we're looking at 77. A front comes in Tuesday into Wednesday, drives our temperatures down just a bit, and we're back down to around average for Wednesday and Thursday.
Thanks, Freddie. Still to come, a big weekend for NASCAR. We'll tell you what fans and drivers are gearing up for this Sunday.
Welcome back, everybody. This afternoon, we're showing you a live look at the Circuit of the Americas. Pretty gorgeous view out there. This is where we're going to see racers take to the track for the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix this very weekend.
Okay, we're joined now by meteorologist Freddie Vela, who is now an expert in all this because he spent the morning out at the track ahead of the race talking about what's going on out there. So, Freddie, how did everything look out there? I know seeing that live look, it's a different picture than we normally show people. It's a lot more crowded.
It was interesting because yesterday I was able to head out there and kind of see the track a bit. I was able to walk around and drive around the area, not on the track itself, I promise, but around the area to see all the racers already start to get there, the drivers and the teams start to arrive. I think that was the coolest thing. And then this morning, they were all there super early trying to make sure that everything was on point, trying to make sure that the team was knowledgeable of what was going on. You got to remember that this is something that they train a long time for. They've been already in Daytona, they've been in Atlanta, they've been in different spots. And as far as this track itself, they've only actually seen it virtually because there's been a big change as far as the setup for the track itself.
So even drivers who have been and raced here before, it's something pretty new for them this year.
Yeah, so what they've done is they've actually taken the course itself. The full course is about 3.41 miles. And what they've done is they've actually reduced the size by kind of adjusting it to bring it down to the national size, which is about 2.4 miles. And so what that'll do is then reduce the amount of time that they're farther out and bring most of that action closer into closer to the stadium. 50% more action will be taking place near the crowds, and they'll be able to check it out. But that also brings with it more twists and turns this year. There's about 20 turns that they're going to be able to take, and there's a lot of elevation, and that's one of the things that they don't have on other tracks is they have an elevation elevation component to this, especially right when they take off. They go straight up a hill. It's crazy.
Now talk about the fan experience, because this is going to be exciting to be able to see some of that action maybe a little bit closer than other races. What can they expect out there?
So there's a bunch for fans that they'll be able to do. It kicks off today, where the fan experience will go on for the next 3 days, and within this they'll be able to go down and talk to some of the teams that are out there. It's very interactive on what they're able to do. The other thing is that there'll be different events, including a pig race that they actually have that's kicking off. I know, it's kind of funny, and we have that on our website, KXAN.com. And then there's a track of doom, and it's kind of this thing where these motorcyclists go in and they kind of spin around in this big circle cage thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah, and so that's something that fans will be able to check out as well, plus on top of the food and all that good stuff. And then on top of that, on Sunday, country superstar Corey Kent is going to be out there, and he'll be performing ahead of the Grand Prix.
Okay, Freddie, real quickly, I know you've gotten to talk to a couple of the racers. Any notes for our audience who may not have seen those interviews? What stuck out to you about the people who are going to be behind the wheel?
Yeah, so they're all excited. Again, this is, first off, this is earlier in the season than when we normally have the Circuit of the Americas race, the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Normally it's at the end of March. They moved it up, so it's a little bit more of importance, but there's a bit of a change, and the racers talked about that, in that the fact that this is actually a different type of course than what they're normally used to. When they race in Daytona, when they race in Atlanta, their tires have to be smooth. They don't have wipers. They don't have any of that kind of stuff. But this is more of a rough terrain that they're actually racing on. So their tires are a bit different. Now they have treads on there. Now they have wipers in case it rains, because they still have to race, compared to previous races where they have to actually delay the race. In this one, it doesn't stop. They got to go.
Rain or shine, they're going to still do it.
Rain or shine.
Talk about where people can watch some of this action, because that is going to be available to all of them.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that they can do, our sister station, CW, we're going to be showing a lot of that on there. We have reports from Grace Reeder. She's been covering this all for the past couple of days, and she's going to continue to do that over the weekend. She's going to have an exclusive interview with the winner of the race on Sunday, so that's really cool. And spoke to a couple of the winners from previous years, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick. I was able to see William Byron, and then the winner of the first one, which is Chase Elliott. They're all excited about being part of this. And then last week's winner as well, which is Christopher Bell. He won last week. He's another one that we're going to be watching, because he has a good chance of making it.
Freddie, thanks so much for this context. I just want to note for our viewers, he is our weather expert and has jumped in, head first to this NASCAR world. Yeah. So incredible stuff. Thanks for being out there this morning, and lots to watch this weekend. We'll be back after the break.
Breaking news from KXAN News.
New this afternoon, Williamson County Sheriff's officers are investigating a homicide. This is on Jennifer Circle in a neighborhood that is just outside of the Georgetown city limits.
We want to show you a live look right now at that homicide scene. There you can see several sheriff's deputies' vehicles outside of a home with officers and deputies standing there at the end of this roundabout. There was crime scene tape to the right side of your screen there, blowing in the wind. We will continue to show you this live look as we report a little bit more about what deputies are sharing at this time. They say they responded to a 911 call earlier this morning where the caller said they killed their roommate. That suspect is now in custody, though the names of both the suspect and the victim have not been shared just yet. Police are still investigating and will share those at a later time. We'll of course keep following all of this on air and on our website, KXAN.com.
An investigation is happening after 2 people died in a helicopter crash west of Uvalde.
According to the Federal Aviation Administration, that helicopter crashed yesterday near U.S. Highway 90, close to the Uvalde and Kinney County lines in rural southwest Texas. The cause of that crash is not yet known, and the names of those who lost their lives have not yet been released. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating this crash. America's new transportation secretary says he would like to add more air traffic controllers. Sean Duffy spoke yesterday at the Federal Aviation Administration's Training Academy in Oklahoma.
It can take anywhere from 6 months to 2.5 years to get through the process. Okay, it's way too long.
Secretary Duffy there says the FAA is boosting the starting salaries for candidates who go to this academy by 30%. He noted 1 billion people fly in the U.S. each year on 35 million flights with very few incidents.
Big news for international flyers. Delta Airlines is launching its first international route from Austin at the end of this year. Nonstop flights from Austin to Cancun will begin on December 20th, and those will continue through mid-April of next year. In addition to the new route, the airline is also increasing service to Orlando to twice daily flights during that peak winter travel season. This newest route will be Delta's 8th route from AUS this year. Other nonstop routes include New Orleans, Panama City, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Memphis, San Francisco, and Tampa.
More parking is on the way for Austin's airport as it broke ground today on a new 7,000 spot parking garage. It's the latest step in the Journey with AUS program, a decade-long overhaul of the airport. This new garage will replace the current red garage, which airport crews anticipate will be torn down in the coming years. The spot where the red garage is currently located will serve as the site of an expansion for the Barbara Jordan terminal. Airport officials say they are hoping that expansion will open in 2030.
First warning weather.
Let's take a live look outside now. We are looking from your Indeed Domain Tower up in North Austin, where it is just blue skies.
I will say this is a good way to end the week. We've got sunny skies out there, temperatures in the 70s. Can't complain too much out there, Freddie.
Yeah, let's take a look right now. It's absolutely gorgeous outside right now, but I have a beautiful image that I want to show you from last night. This is a sunset in Bartlett. This was sent to us by a viewer who was watching and decided, you know what, those people at KXAN, they need to check out this image. And what a beautiful image it is as well. And we're so grateful that this image came in. If you have anything you want to show us, anything from a squirrel running around, or your dog is happy playing in the park, or even something like this, a beautiful sunset, we encourage you to send those photos in. You can send those to report it at KXAN.com, or you can use our weather app as well. That allows you to send in any photos too. But we love to see stuff like that, and who knows, it may pop up during one of our newscasts. I have a live look out of our Domain Indeed camera outside. As you saw just a moment ago, a little bit cloud coverage out there, not a lot. We're getting plenty of sunshine that has continued to come in and really start to move up our temperatures. We started off nice and cool into the 40s, and then we slowly started to warm up. Take a look at temperatures outside right now. 71 degrees in Austin, 71 in San Marcos, Fredericksburg at 69 degrees. Same out towards Georgetown. Bastrop at about 72 degrees. That little icon showing a bit more cloud coverage than everywhere else because we've started to get some cloud coverage starting to push through. And in fact, this is what it looks like as we look at our satellite and radar at this point. A bit of clouds in Bastrop, LaGrange, and into Giddings. You get a little bit of cloud coverage farther up to past our viewing area, past Rockdale, going up 35. But this is really the only spot where we're seeing some cloud coverage. We had some clouds build up out towards Mason and Llano, but it looks like most of that has started to decrease as well. By the way, beach forecast, and you may be wondering, well, why would we talk about beach forecast? We'll get to that in just a moment with Will and Avery. But for today, we're looking at temperatures at around 76 degrees. For Saturday, we're looking at about 82 degrees, and that also works if you're going to be out towards Coda as well, as we start to see a bit of cloud coverage that starts to roll back in. Rain chances not really there. We're expecting for, unfortunately, temperatures to start moving back up. So coming up, we're going to be talking about warm and mostly sunny outside over the next couple of days. We do have a great day ahead that we definitely want to talk to you about, and the rain chances are actually returning one more time ahead of that next front. I'll have all that more, plus our weekend watch segment where I have all the great things that you can do over the weekend. We'll have that coming up in just a moment. Will, Avery?
All right, thanks so much, Freddie. Still to come this afternoon, how a group of friends are keeping in touch with one another despite the distance.
Welcome back, everybody. We are taking a live look again up at our Domain Tower camera. Nothing but blue skies and 70-degree temperatures that Freddie is tracking for us as we head into our weekend. He'll have our full forecast coming up in just a bit. Groups of friends are staying connected in a new way. It's known as Wednesday Waffle, but it's not the kind of waffle you're thinking. That's a tongue twister there, Wednesday Waffle.
It really is. Every Wednesday, they commit to sharing videos with each other. It sounds simple, but the impact can really be profound. NBC's Kate Snow has those details.
Kirks Diaz was visiting his girlfriend in New York City last year when he made a huge decision.
Half an hour before my flight was going to leave, I said, let's try and make this work, and I never left.
And stayed in New York.
Yeah, I stayed in New York, yeah.
Suddenly, he was thousands of miles from his friends back in London, and he didn't want to lose touch. One of his buddies mentioned the Wednesday Waffle.
When one of my friends put it in the group chat, I think in that moment we were all like, yo, this is a great idea. We should definitely do it, yeah. It's our friend Sam.
Wednesday, my favourite day of the week, because I get to talk to you, man.
The concept is simple. Every Wednesday, each guy sends a quick video to the group chat, like 2 minutes.
I think it's really important that we stay intentional about our connections, about our friendships, because otherwise they fade out.
It's not waffle like the breakfast food.
When you waffle on about something, it's like you're just chatting on about whatever it might be you're waffling on.
They share the everyday, vacations, relationships.
We've been friends for so long that we're able to have really deep and vulnerable conversations, and there's no judgment in the group chat, so we're able to say how we're feeling, what's going on, and to
the real stuff.
The real stuff.
Yo.
Hello. Eamon recently told the group he's in love.
Oh, you're in love?
Apparently, yeah.
Does she know that you've told the Wednesday Waffle group about her?
Yeah, she knows about it, yeah.
I want to introduce you to her.
The whole concept went viral when Zachary Perez posted this video during COVID from Australia. Now people around the globe, men and women, are waffling.
It's been pretty overwhelming to hear how many groups and guys just reaching out to me, telling me, you wouldn't believe how much this has done for me and my mates.
It's just so easy being a video, like we don't have to catch up at a particular time.
Feel like we're constantly catching up, even though we only see each other in person a few times a year.
Simon and Matt both announced they were becoming dads on the Wednesday Waffle.
And you never know when it's going to land, when one of them is going to be, the best news you've heard all year.
Jack lost his father in 2021 and leaned on the group.
Seeing you boys each week just made an absolute world of difference.
Kirks is a true believer now. His TikTok going viral too.
This is your sign to start the Wednesday Waffle. 100% it will be worth it. Even though it's a small amount of time, it's still some time that we make for each other, and I think that's super important.
Isn't that so nice? I really like him thinking about how I have so many friends who live all across the country. This is a good idea to kind of connect with each other.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of things you can do to connect with other people, too, especially here at home with our Weekend Watch. Check this out. We actually have different events that you can check out. And, of course, we do this every single week. Just go to KXAN.com, search Weekend Watch, and we have lots of events that you can do each and every weekend. First off, let's talk about NASCAR at COTA. That one, racing all weekend long. We have Fan Zone all 3 days. Corey Kent will be performing the pre-show. And, of course, the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, which is going to be on Sunday. You can visit KXAN.com or NASCAR@COTA.com for the latest information. Here's the look at the weather over the next 3 days. 76 for today, 82 for Saturday. By Sunday, we're looking at 78 degrees with the slightest chance of some drizzle later in the evening. Sunday, what I don't expect that it'll bother anyone. Then we also have the 14th annual Stephanie Nichols Annual Car and Vintage Plane Show. Now, that's a lot, but it's really cool, and it's taking place on Saturday from 8:30 to 2:30. And I need to clarify that the 8:30 is for people who are showing up for the car show. Let's go ahead and send it over to this special report happening right now.
NBC News Special Report. Here's Lester Holt.
Good day. We're coming on the air with breaking news. It appears talks between the U.S. and Ukraine have broken down after a tense and combative day at the White House, and a planned news conference for this afternoon has just been canceled, we've learned. A short time ago, President Trump posting on social media saying, in part, I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved. And he goes on to write, he disrespected the United States of America and its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky left the White House after meetings with President Trump in an attempt to persuade the administration to continue backing Ukraine's ongoing war with Russia. But in the Oval Office earlier, Zelensky clashed with Mr. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. It was an astonishingly hostile exchange, the pair yelling at him about his, quote, attitude and whether or not he was grateful for U.S. support. Here's some of what truly happened.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander is with me now. Peter, a stunning turn of events. The whole idea for today was for them to sign this agreement that would give U.S. control over mineral rights in exchange for the expenditure in weaponry and else in the war.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's just take a step back for a moment and talk about what we saw. This was like nothing I have ever seen, anybody's ever seen, in terms of a dramatic moment that played out for the entire American public from inside the Oval Office. There you have Volodymyr Zelensky alongside Donald Trump and the Vice President J.D. Vance, where they are exchanging harsh words for one another. And you think about how quickly this relationship between the United States and Ukraine has devolved. In 2022, when Zelensky came to the U.S., he was greeted by a bipartisan standing ovation that lasted minutes. And then in the course of the last couple of weeks, Donald Trump trying to get a deal. President Trump, among other things, blamed Ukraine for the beginning of the war. Of course, Russia first invaded Ukraine in 2014, then a full-scale invasion in 2022, and then referred to him, Zelensky, as a dictator here. But the bottom line is the takeaway. A White House official, the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, saying, in fact, this was President Trump and J.D. Vance, in their words, standing up for the American people. In his eyes, in their eyes, this is the America First policy being presented before the world. The question is where it leaves the United States, where it leaves Ukraine, where it leaves Europe, and ultimately what message it sends to Russia right now. As you know, having spoken to Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK this week, there was an effort first by Emmanuel Macron of France, then by Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, to try to help secure some security guarantees for Ukraine to protect it going forward in case Russia is to try to invade Ukraine in the future. The hope was that today was a first step toward whatever a ceasefire deal would look like, a rare earths mineral deal. It was said to be a 50-50 split. The president says that $350 billion have been spent by the U.S. sent to Ukraine. The number, in fact, is about $174 billion. Nonetheless, his desire is to get some of that money back. That didn't get signed. Volodymyr Zelensky is on his way home, it appears.
All right, Peter, thanks. I want to go to Richard Engel, who has been covering this story for us for many, many months during this war. Richard, let's talk about the reaction perhaps in Moscow, the reaction in the streets of Kyiv. I know this just happened, but what is your anticipation we're going to be hearing?
So I've already been in touch with some people in Kyiv, and they think that this was a disaster. They just watched Volodymyr Zelensky, their president, be humiliated by the President of the United States and the Vice President. President Zelensky went to Washington with the intention of signing this deal. There had been some back and forth with President Zelensky saying that he wanted security guarantees. That annoyed the White House. President Trump called him a dictator. But they seem to have gotten past that. And today, President Zelensky looked like he was getting what he ultimately wanted, some security guarantee, some economic agreement with the United States. And in the last minute, he was saying, as he continues to call for, he says, in addition to this mineral deal, we need the security guarantees. We need them because we don't trust that Russia will invade again. Then it was J.D. Vance who really escalated this. He started to press in with President Zelensky, saying, you've got it wrong, you're contradicting us, you have no right to intervene here. He talked about Zelensky carrying out propaganda tours. Zelensky didn't back down. And as the two of them, President Zelensky and Vance, were arguing, President Trump chimed in, and he had to back his vice president.
All right, Richard Engel, thank you. That concludes this NBC News special report. We'll have much more ahead on what happened here on our streaming network, NBC News Now, online at NBCnews.com, and a full wrap-up tonight on NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt in New York. Good day.
For the first time since last month's deadly plane crash in Washington, D.C., we're hearing how first responders are coping with the tragedy. Divers, firefighters, and investigators worked for days to recover the bodies of all 67 victims. Now the help of one special member is providing some comfort for those who rushed in to help. His name is Brew, and there you see him. He's 2 and a member of D.C. Fire and EMS. On the Friday after the crash, Captain Sharon Moulton took Brew down to the temporary morgue where she says she knew he'd be needed.
His only job is to be a pet. He loves to just sit on people, hug them, and that's what he did, especially to the forensic teams.
Captain Moulton will bring Brew to a Legacy on Ice memorial on Sunday. She says that she hopes he can bring comfort to anyone grieving from the terrible tragedy on the Potomac. We're wrapping up our show now here at 12:54, and nice weather out there today to end our work week.
Oh yeah, for sure, and especially as we get into tonight, it's not going to be as cold tonight as we saw last night. Take a look at our temperatures. We should be hitting about 49 degrees, so still a bit chilly, just not as cold as what we saw. Winds coming in from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures hitting about 82 degrees. Winds coming in from the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but I know a lot of people are going to be out to either at CODA or at that car or antique plane show that I was mentioning, or of course at the beach volleyball that's happening at UT. Either way, you're going to get a bit of sunshine, so make sure that you take some sunblock and that you are prepared to drink plenty of water, because it is going to be a tad warmer outside. Probably, one of the warmest we've had. We actually had earlier in the week us hitting 83 degrees, so I'm anticipating it'll feel like that in what we hit just a few days ago. Tonight, the first night of Ramadan, we're looking at a high of 76 degrees. For tomorrow, 82, as I just mentioned before. As we look out towards Sunday, we're looking at about 78 degrees, and by Monday, about 77 degrees. That's where we'll start to see the chance of a few showers pick up as we get into Tuesday with 82 degrees on the day of Mardi Gras. And then we have a front that'll come in that'll drive our temperatures down as we look out towards Wednesday. 74 degrees, mostly clear skies, and then we'll get another cooler morning ahead Thursday. By the way, we have already passed what is normally, traditionally, the last freezing day of the year. Now, I'm not saying that we're completely done. I'm just saying that on average, we've already passed our last freezing day. So I'm just going to put that onto the universe in case people have been wondering that on average, at this point, we don't go back to freezing.
Okay.
On average. Just throwing that out there.
I need to plan my Home Depot garden trip, so I don't know.
That's kind of fun, though.
Okay, I'll keep asking you.
We have a lot going on still. 20 days away until the first day of spring. Daylight saving time starts next week. So multiple things. And then, I hate to say it, spring allergies on the way. So you got to prepare for that, too.
Hey, thanks for joining us this afternoon, everybody. We will see you back here in about 30 minutes with another update. Enjoy your Friday and your weekend. Take care.